I can actually help you make anywhere from $2,000 a month to over $200,000 a month. And it's not because I'm super special or anything like that. I've just seen it happen for so many people that I got to be an idiot not to see certain patterns, right? So for that reason, if you watch this video to the end, and if you actually, internalize what I'm talking about here, whether you work with me or not, I think your job in life when it comes to generating more money will be a lot easier. So I can't promise you'll be a better person because that's not what I train people on, but I can promise you that you'll be better at making money because who you become, money just helps you become more of that. If you're not necessarily a great person, when you have money, you're going to be not necessarily a great person with a lot of money, right? So I can't make any promises on that end, but I can make promises that if you watch this video and, even if you have like one or two key takeaways, it will certainly help you. One thing is, if you want to make money, like make more money than you're making right now, you got to make your peace with the money. A lot of people have, conflicting beliefs when it comes to money. And that's instilled in us, sometimes part of the society believes that money doesn't grow in tree, it's impossible for us to make more money, money is evil, blah, blah, blah. All these cultural or religious, so-called religious sayings that inhibit our trust in going out there and making more money. So the first thing is, if you have any of those holding you back, if you do not necessarily think that it's okay to make a lot of money, well, how do you see yourself making a lot of money? Because you're just telling yourself that you need to make more money, but sort of subconscious mind tells you that no, because you don't want to be a bad person, because the simple equation in your mind that people with money are bad people. No, you're telling yourself, I want to make more money, so then it equals to be a bad person, right? So if that's the equation, well, that's broken right there, right? So you have to change that. And a lot of people do not accept that, but that's how they are brought up from their past experiences, that they don't associate great feelings to making more money. That's the first thing. You got to get it out of your way. Like if you have those belief systems, just shatter them, write it down, acknowledge that that was your past belief system, but you do not believe that anymore. And in a logical manner, explain to your mind, that why you desire to be in a position of more abundance, financial abundance, right? Which is going to in turn allow yourself to have personal abundance, because you're going to have the time to invest in yourself to become a better person, maybe more educated, maybe more articulate, but whatever your goal is, right? It's going to make you feel good about yourself. So that's the first thing, getting rid of the fear of making money. The second thing is getting rid of the wishful thinking. So I see a lot of conversations, even around the people that I know that I hang out in person, when it comes to the conversation of money, a lot of discussion is, I wish I had more money, I could have done this. So they're setting up the location of the money so far out there. It's just a wish thing. It's like saying, I wish we can land on Mars tomorrow so I can do this. Internally, that it's very unlikely to happen tomorrow, maybe in 30 years, but you're just making a wish about it. If you treat money that way, it's not going to happen. It's not going to come to you, right? I'm not talking about this esoteric belief of like law of attraction and all that stuff. I'm not saying that if you just keep saying it to yourself, it's going to happen. That will not happen unless you do something for it and if you change your beliefs, right? When it comes to money. That's another thing. So stop doing wishful thinking. Number 3 is that have some kind of structure. Like how the heck are you going to make more money? Like what's your plan? You got to have some kind of plan. Oh yeah, I'm going to start a business. Well, what kind of business? Do you even know the potential of the business that you can start? Will that help you? And what is even your goal? Like, when you say a lot of money, that doesn't mean anything. You might as well say no money, or a little bit of money, or $1 million of money, or $10 of money. What does that even mean in your mind? Do you even know like how much you wanna make, where you want to go from, right? So you want to have certain baselines built in your mind. That's why at BLB we use like a tiered system. The first line, we call it BAMOS, bare ass minimum. That's how much you wanna match your new income to what you're making right now. So from a job, let's say you're making $3,000 a month. So your new venture needs to make $3,000 minimum, because that's understandable for you because that's how much you make right now. That's what makes it real for you. Many people think that they just want to make millions of dollars, but they have no conceptual understanding of what that means. But they fail at it because their mind doesn't understand what it means to make $1 million. But if many people make a goal of, I'm going to start this business and make my first 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 in the next month, 3 months, that's a lot more realistic. I know we all want to make crap ton of money that we can buy a Lamborghini or a fancy house with, but it starts with making your first $1,000, making your first $5,000, $10,000, right? So you need to build a tiered system. What is the minimum baseline? We call it bare ass minimum. How much do I need on a given month to keep roof over my head, pretty much keep my standards? Like if your grocery shopping is $500 a month, right? So, all right, so that's $500. If your car payment is a few $100s, your rent or mortgage, whatever is that much. So you need to be making at least that much on the get-go. Just focus on that first, right? And then you can set up a secondary goal. We call it the objective. Objective is if you reach the first level, where would you want to go from there? What would you make it comfortable for you to continue in this venture, right? You might say, all right, I'm making 3K right now. It would be great if I tripled my income and made 10K per month. Is that doable? What would it take? Well, you wouldn't know what it takes until you reach your 3K first, right? So it's really, really important to think in terms of these financial tiers. And once you reach that level, then we call it the stretch. If you had a magic wand, how much would you want to make? Like, what would you make? How much would make you feel like a wealthy person? So for a lot of people, that could be 30,000 a month, 50,000 a month, right? But if you're starting with 50,000 a month, mentally, you can't, most people cannot imagine themselves living with $50,000 a month because they haven't developed themselves to that level yet. So when it comes to like trying to make more money, you have to follow that tiered structure. First, handle your fears about the money. The second, have like a tier structure. Third, have a specific plan as to how you're going to tackle it. Because honestly, some people just want to add another $1,000 to their monthly income, and you don't need to go all crazy and start a business. You can just ask your boss for a raise. If he or she doesn't give you a raise, go change your job if that's going to be enough to satisfy you. But if you're following this channel and you're entrepreneurial, obviously that's not the goal. That could be a goal temporarily, but you want to go beyond that and make a lot of money, right? So how do we do that? So that's what we're discussing. So you want to have those things in place for that to happen. And the last part is the industry. So this is a little more specific. So when you choose a business model, let's say you want to start your own business model, you want to stay as close to the source of the money as possible. What I mean by that is when you start a business, let's say you're selling clothing online. So clothing is the middleware for you to exchange in return for money, right? So it makes it more complicated when your business is not the money itself, but your business is selling a medium in return to get some money, right? So that's why that's not super close to the money itself. That's why the people who make the most amount of money are in the financial service industries, because you cannot get closer to money as you would be if you're not in the financial service industry, because they're pretty much in the money business. And in certain jobs, like people who are in the investment firms can be making $3 to $4 million, and they do have a job, right? Not all jobs are bad, but it takes probably a decade to build that up. So, but stockbrokers, salespeople in the financial services industry, lenders, brokers, all of these people do not need a medium. Think of the clothing line example that I put together. They actually work with the money, they offer the money, they do stuff with the money to make more money. That's why they make the most amount of money, right? So let's take you, that you have these monetary ambitions, that you want to do big things, then you're trying to decide what to do. Then wouldn't it make sense for you to spend your time in the financial services industry versus you starting out something that's just using that use a lot of medium to help you get to the money? So that's what we do, we're in the alternative lending industry, so we work with millions of businesses out there, right? And help them get access to capital that they would not otherwise either know about or they wouldn't be qualified for through the banks. Because banks do financing, they offer loans, but they offer it to the top 1% to 5% of the entire United States. The remaining 80 to 90% do not qualify for bank lending because it's not because they're less of anything. It's just if they don't fit into the tight criteria of the banks. So this is where we come into play. We're the leading organization, alternative lending. So it's important that you stay close to the money. So for example, I'm going to show you a couple of screenshots here. This just literally, this was posted yesterday. One of our members helped another business get access to their tax credit, which is the ERTCs. Anyone who survived through the pandemic and still employed W-2 employees, most of them qualify for a tax credit called ERTC. So we have partners, lenders in our community that we train you on, even if you know nothing about it. And this person just helped another business get access to their well-deserved earned tax credit, which they don't have to pay back. It's not a loan, it's a grant. As a return, he made $25,000. Someone else helped a company with, I think 300 employees or so, and they made $65,000. Others helping another business get access to capital, get some kind of funding, anywhere from $20,000 to $2 million. They get paid for that. So they're mingling with money. In return, they have more of that. That's just the way it works when it comes to accumulating financial gain. Again, I'm not saying life is all about that, but I'm saying it's a good chunk of that is all about that, right? So it's what you do with the money. It's kind of up to you. It depends on your belief system, your values, your ethics, and all that stuff, which I'm not in a position to talk about. That's you and how you're brought up and your belief system, whatever you want to do. But I can definitely suggest that you look into the financial services industry and look at what we do. Like, check out what we do. Like, we're doing some major things with some major players in this industry, and we've become the voice of thousands of business loan brokers who started with us. And out of those, most of them did not know anything about this industry. They learned about it through our program. So if you're in the market and if you really are kind of fed up with what's going on and you're kind of foreseeing not so good things happening with U.S. economy and the changes that are happening is kind of bothering you and you want to take control of your future and you're looking for a vehicle, then why not pick the best vehicle? That's my argument. And if you have a counter argument, definitely comment below and let's have a healthy discussion, obviously. So I'm not saying all the business opportunities are bad out there. And obviously this is not a get rich quick scheme. You still have to put in the work. But my argument is that you're already putting in the work. It's not like you're lazy and doing nothing, but are you on the right boat? As Warren Buffett would say. He has a famous story that he had a good friend in college who he says was way smarter than Warren Buffett, way more hardworking than him. And fast forward 20 years, Warren Buffett became the billionaire. And financially speaking, that person couldn't accomplish much. And he wonders why that is the case, because he had all of that going for himself, while Warren didn't have much of that. And he says that it's more important what boat you're on than how fast you're rowing. Because you might be rowing towards the wrong target. You might be going the wrong direction, working as hard as possible. That's what the job market reminds me, right? So we're not lazy people, we work hard, but you're rowing too much for what? Is your boat even in the water? Something to think about, right? If it is in the water, is it enough water that you're just rowing a lot and it's not even moving? If it is moving, where are you going? Do you even know, right? Most people are not clear. That was me, right? So I was just rowing so hard and I was missing family commitments and hadn't spent quality time with my wife when I had a full-time job. And finally, I noticed that my relationship with myself and with my family was deteriorating because of my responsibilities to the boat that's going in the wrong direction. That's why I started questioning everything and stopped it and jumped on a different boat. And same thing with the Warren Buffett, because of the vehicle that he has chosen, he is there right now. Same thing with there's a very similar story with Jeff Bezos. I actually shared his story on my channel in one of those 1-minute shorts. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope this made sense. And again, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in videos like this. I try to cut the fluff as much as possible and give it to you like we should. So I don't hype things up. Hopefully that matters to you. But let me know your thoughts and subscribe to the channel and like this video. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care now.